Now, what happens when you discover talent is that you are good at it and you love it. When you have these two things together, then you have a talent. I won't be talking about talents here because it's a very delicate topic. Why? Because we're not very sure about what a talent is. Where does it come from? What is it for? What are we supposed to do with it? Okay, if you have talents, or if you're looking in yourself to see if you have talents, you're going to ask yourself these questions and you have to give an answer. So, this episode is to help you clarify the situation about talents. And in order to do that, I will treat this topic on two levels. One is an ethical one, and the other one is practical. Why ethical? Now, I'm not sure that you are acquainted. For example, there is a parable in the Gospels, so a Christian book that you may not know or be aware of if you're not Christian. If you are Christian, at least you may have heard of it. The parable of the talents, where there was this, master of the house who had to go out for work, and so he gives talents, which was money, to his servants. So he took one servant and he gave him 5 talents. Another servant, he gave him 2 talents. Another servant, just 1 talent. Why did he do that? Why not everybody the same? Because it says in the parable, it says that he gave to each according to his capacity, to what he believed that person was capable to do. So the first servant, he knew that he could count on him, so he gave him the most money, the 5 talents. The other one says, I think he can do it. He can do good. So he gave it, but he gave him just 2. Perhaps he didn't have that much experience. The other one says, I'm not too sure about this one, but still, I want to give him a chance. Give him 1 talent. Then he leaves. So it's very important that the gospel specifies that he gave to everyone according to his capacity. Because that's exactly what happens to us when we are given talents. Okay, this is a parable. A parable is a metaphor of what life gives us. We see people that are endowed with many talents, and we see other people who seem to have none. I stress that, seem to have none, because we all do. At least, to the very least, we have one. And if we don't have more, it's because we can't handle them, very simply. So the thing is, so this is the first ethical question. We should not complain because we believe that we don't have talents. Perhaps we do have talents, but we're not looking for them because we think that life has been hard on us, unfair with us. So we didn't even look for it, but we do have at least one talent. And the other thing is that if I have a talent, I have been given a talent, mind you, what am I going to do with this? Because you see, it's not like learning something. I mean, if you graduated in university, you had to study for that. You had to pay for that. You had to make an experience out of that. So if you became really good at what you're doing, it's because you have invested a lot of yourself. So you don't know anything to anyone. Whatever money you make, whatever status you achieve, you earned it. You don't have to answer to anybody. But if you receive a talent, that was not yours. See, this is where the ethics comes in. It was given to you. And whatever, nature, God, whatever, expects you to exploit that talent. For yourself, yes, for yourself, but where everybody can have something out of that. If we do not exploit our talents, like what happened in the parable, because the first servant that received 5 made 5 more, the second one 2 more, the other one nothing. So that was his mistake. It was not his talent, it was given to him so that he could invest on it and make the master happy. That is what was missing. Now you can make money, you can capitalize on your talent as long as you don't use it only for yourself, because that would mean stealing the talent. The talent is not yours. You can get something out of that, which is, for example, in the case of the parable, staying in the house of the master and have a living in the house of the master. But because he didn't invest it, he was chased. He was thrown out. He didn't even steal the talent. He just didn't multiply it. That's all. And yet he was punished for that very, very harshly. That says something a lot about what we're supposed to do in life, right? Now, we are here to risk. And if we do have received the talent, then, you know, we must do our very best to make the most out of it for the people, for humanity, for the close one, whatever. But we cannot say no. Now, here we're going to the practical side. How do you know if you have a talent? Which one it is? How are you supposed to work in order to find that out? Or how can I manage to the best of my capability? So one thing at a time. We all have talents, at least one, to the very least. And how do you know that? How do you know you have that talent? Well, usually because you do something, and for some reason you're very good at it without too much effort. So there must be something there, right? So try to find out more. Now, what happens when you discover talent is that you are good at it and you love it. When you have these two things together, then you have a talent. So it's when you love what you're doing with that something, and you're really good at it, and you are not making too much effort. Now, that doesn't mean that you just, okay, I don't have to do anything. It's fine. No, you have to make it stronger. You have to make it better. It's like, Michelangelo, great artist, like many others. He had a talent, no doubt about that. But he would have never made all the marvels that he created if he had not really given all his best, all his effort to take his talent to an incredible level. That is what made the difference. That's the responsibility that we have. And so we go back to the ethics. Okay, so once you find that out, don't just stop at that, because usually when we talk about talents, we refer to things that we are capable to do. That's not what I'm talking about here. It's not what you're capable to do on the things that you produce, that you make, that you can use. There are other types of talents that we consider less and are yet very important. For example, emotional talents. Okay, so like empathy, let's say, to be very empathetic with other people. Does that bring you money? Not the empathy itself, but if you're very empathetic, you may arise trust in other people because the other people feel that you are connected. And so people will trust you more. And if they trust you more, they will give you more work. And if they give you more work, you will make more money. So indirectly, an emotional talent will be profitable for you. Or it can be motivation. Okay, you can really motivate yourself and motivate others. How much is that worth, even economically? Or, for example, resilience, the capacity to resist. It's not really resisting, but to stay firm on your intentions, even when things get really tough. How much is that worth? Perhaps other people would give up. And perhaps they were better at doing things than you are, but you were more resilient. And you went all the way. You didn't stop because things were getting hard. You just fought back. And then there are mental talents. For example, you learn very easily. You read everything, it's all in your mind. You learned it. Or memory, or focus. Okay, all these things can really help you, even economically. And let's say spiritual, like being insightful. There are people that they're just unable to get inside themselves really and read who they are. And there are people that do that very easily. They go inside and they start to discern everything that they feel, they see, they perceive what is good, what is bad, what works, what doesn't. That's talent. If you can do that with a certain ease, because then you can teach and you can help other people grow, and that will make you money. But you see, the economical part is not the most important one. The important one is that you bring value to the world. And as a result of that, you can make more money. This is what is the moral of the parable of the talents in the gospel. So I would say yes, definitely the capacity to exploit to the best all of your talents, not just the ones that you work with, but even the most internal ones. It's very important. You must learn to recognize it and not take it for granted. Most people take those talents for granted because they don't seem to produce anything, which is wrong, by the way. So there are people, for example, before I said that, how do you know you have a talent? It's because it comes easy to you and because you love doing it. Now, there are people who love, for example, to sing. And they love to act, to be an actor, or to lead a company. They really love that. But that doesn't mean they have a talent for that. For example, they may, if you want to be a successful singer, for example, and you don't have a talent for that, but you love doing it, perhaps it's not really the singing that you love, but the money that you can make out of singing, the popularity that you can get, the fact that you would be admired, that you, for example, you would make your, I don't know, your parents happy because they were, opera singer lovers, and they would have wanted, their daughter or son to have success in that. They're all wrong reasons. So that's why they fail eventually. So it's important that in order for you to know that you have a talent, it's that you love what you're doing, but at the same time that you're very good at doing it. Otherwise, don't use that talent. So if you can improve it, good. But if you can't, just leave it. It's not your talent. It's not your trade. You have to look for something else. You see, the servant did not invest his one talent because of fear, because of internal blocks. He knew his master. He knew that he could be harsh. And so he said, this is the only talent I have. And I don't want to risk it. I don't want to lose it. So what I'll do, I'll bury it. And when he comes back, I'll give him his talent back. That's not what he did not like that. Because, it's easy for somebody who has many talents, for example, the first one had 5, to invest them. You may lose one and say, okay, I got the other 4. I can work on that. I lose one talent, okay. I lose 2 talents, okay, I can make up for that too. But if one talent is the only thing you have, of course you will be afraid. And yet that is not a justification. The master of the house punished him very, very harshly. He kicked him out. Which means that we have a very precise responsibility to look for our talents, because it's not just about us. We should not be boasting about the talent we have because it's not ours. It was given to us. It was given to be used, not to boast about it or to just think about yourself on how better your life can be. It's there so that everybody can enjoy that talent or the production or the produce of that talent. See you next time.